I have some questions, not for you, because you don't have the answer to these questions. So this is not, you don't have the answer to these questions yet, but we have a subcommittee who's thinking about TJ. And then there's also a group of alumni that are really hard working on TJ. Maybe you've heard of them. They are working on the TJ question as well. And I'm hoping to get the teams together to be doing this work together. But some of the people on our team came up with these questions, and I can get them to you so we don't have to review them. It's just like, you know, we want to see, obviously, the TJ reflects the population it serves. And we have some questions about that. If you could go to the next slide, Lindsay. So we want to know why, like, you had some Black kids, and we heard a lot of Black kids are choosing not to go. We want to know why that's happening. There are a lot of questions that need to be asked. I'm sorry, you look like you're going to say something. Go ahead.
I'll just say, I expect a conversation about TJ with our school board in the coming months to address a lot of these questions and to seek solutions, not 20 years of status quo where we have tried to do something, but we've nibbled around the edges and it has not made a major change. I'm sitting with Karen Keys-Gamarra from the school board, with Marty Smith, our chief operation officer who oversees TJ admissions, myself and the principal of TJ on a governor's task force led by the Secretary of Education, Adolph Carney, and the Board of Education Chair, Dan Gecker, with ideas about how to review and revise governor school admissions. That's going to be shared probably in September with General Assembly review in January. We may be able, of course, to make our own decisions, of course, as a school system before that. So I say this is helpful to know these questions and ideas, but we're going to have a conversation with the school board sooner than later about TJ.
One of the things, like, can you go to the next slide, Lindsay? Thank you so much. So one of the things that we want, I'm sure that you're going to talk, I'm sure Karen Keys-Gamarra is going to talk about, because I've talked to her about this as well, the fact that the TJ admissions test is so preppable, right? Which makes it automatically inaccessible to children who can't do that prep. But are we actually finding the kids who need to be there, or who really have an inclination, if we were to find them in the second grade and nurture them in a different way, which we've already said we are maybe not doing through our principal cultural problem.
We could, I want to save it for September, but I just say two things. One is growing the pipeline, which is advanced academic access early on.
Yeah.
But then the other is our TJ admissions right now leans heavily on a test and to be the highest score on a test. So if you have test prep access, you have a big leg up.
Yeah.
And some families have the money and resources to spend thousands and thousands of dollars each year to get their kid TJ test ready.
Yeah.
And I think we've got to really look hard at that and say, is that the most equitable way to run our admissions process?
Well, we obviously know it's not the most equitable way. So what we're talking about is, like, what is TJ? It's a question, again, of fidelity. All of this stuff has to do with those same the same things that we were saying in the beginning. Like, you have to actually do an audit, that a meaningful audit that says that you want it, like you said, to be the superintendent. You don't want to be the superintendent of a racist school system. That's from beginning to end. So, you know, I know we're about at 8 o'clock here. We have 1 minute left. I was hoping we could talk about paradigms. We don't have time. That's another question. I'm hoping we can continue this conversation. I appreciate you all being such good sports. I know that I really, really put you through the ringer here. I mean, I'm not here for playing around. None of us are here for playing around. The time has just passed.
That's right. No, listen, there are hard questions, and equity is not, equity is uncomfortable. And I shared this morning, we need to be more comfortable feeling uncomfortable. And we're going to have a more uncomfortable school year, but we're going to have a good school year because we're going to put equity front and center, and we're going to hash through some things that we've avoided hashing through over the years. And this TJ is just one more of them.
Yeah.
So, no, we welcome it. And I think you're going to see from me, you know, sometimes you take a great idea and apply it. I'm going to be doing more town halls out in our community and putting these issues on the table for our community to hear. It's important that we talk to the NAACP. It's also important for members of our community who may not be using the NAACP to tune in, to start to hear these conversations and engage us. And I'm going to stay engaged with you all, and I want to engage others in these equity conversations if we're going to change in the direction that we need to with equity.
Thank you. I mean, I really just think that this year, being that we're virtual, and I know that doesn't make your life any easier, it makes your life 1,000 times harder, but one thing that we can do is we don't have bodies and buildings. And so I think we can take a little bit of a sort of a mental pause on that actual management of our children in the buildings, to think about the kinds of things that we need to do and put things in place and get things organized around a different paradigm that we haven't used before.
Right.
So
well, thank you, Dr. Hampton. We enjoyed being here, and I want to thank my team, Dr. Presidio, Dr. Ivy, Miss Bainig, Miss Eddie, Leona, Noel. I'm sure I'm missing somebody else. But I really appreciate our team being here.
I do too.
And
I know I was hard on you all, and I appreciate your taking it and answering my questions and facing that fire. I think it's important for us to have honest conversations. So thank you very much.
Well, we'll see you again real soon, and go watch the video from this morning in your free time tonight.
I will be looking for you. I'm going to find out what you had to say. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you
Bye,
all,
everyone. Thank you.
Thanks to all who watched. I really appreciate it. We look forward to a great school year with you at our side.
So do we. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.